My hair is my vessel.
My hair regimen is an act of self-love.
I'm proud to be a black man.
When you see my hair, you see me.
It's the process. Come on now.
What's going on, man?
I can't call it. Feel like money.
Exactly,
Look like money.
I know that's right. Man, look, your hair is amazing. Like the intention behind it is superb, man. Like,
appreciate that, man. Shout out to Angelique real quick, pardon me.
Oh shit, okay. So like, what was the inspiration? Like, did you just kind of like know what you want to do or the vision behind it?
A lot of times, no. That's actually a great question. A lot of times, no, I don't have any inspiration. I just know I want to push the reset button. So now I have the relationship with my stylist to whereas I trust her. So I'll just simply tell her, if I have a specific event, then, I'll just give her what's on the table and then she'll just naturally craft something. But I do get into the creative process while sitting in the chair because I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, well, what about if we do this? I'm constantly trying to challenge her. So with this being a crown situation, I figured I want to exude in my crown. I want to walk and people feel that
it's
I am
only
the
right.
king. You know what I'm saying? So,
amen to that.
Come on now. But what about you though? What's your situation? Like what does hair mean to you?
Washing goes, hair is just self-expression. Like hair is identity.
Yes.
Hair is how I feel that day. Mm-hmm. It's a protective style. It just allows me to live my life the way I intend on doing it. And I like to live my life amazingly. So it's just a reflection of me, my personality, and all the steps it took for me to get here, So that's kind of what hair means to me. It's the journey. Like hair it's timeless.
And I resonate with that because for me, hair is essentially my way to scream in the public eye, right? Mm-hmm. So it would be weird for me to walk around and just say, hey, look at me, You know what I'm saying? But I do something such as this and walk around with my lips closed and say nothing, but yet it appears as if I'm screaming, forcing you to notice me. But in reality, it's just this artistry. So it's a way of expression, but then also it's a second voice that allows me to really like pop my shit.
Exactly. I feel like when people even look at you, they look at you from the top down.
Facts.
So it's the first thing someone really pretty much sees and kind of gets an idea of.
Yeah, a lot of people judge this book by its cover, and I like to lean into that because then once we start having a conversation, it appears as if I may be someone completely different, and then it's like, okay, now who are you then? Because this is a lot, and it's like, well, I'm just Al-Teron.
It keeps them guessing.
Keeps them guessing.
Keeps them guessing.
Come on
Amen.
now. Have you always thought like that? Like, have you always felt empowered from just looking in the mirror, or did you ever question? You know what I'm saying?
I will say it started off rocky because I didn't know what to do with my hair pretty much growing up. My hair was cut pretty short. It was low maintenance.
Like a Caesar?
Man, it was a college cut. Like that's what I don't even like my like every time I would go to the barbershop, my dad would automatically like college cut it as low as you can. And
get your money's worth.
Right. It was a way to save money. Just so you're not going to the barbershop every week or so. It was probably every 3 weeks for me. So it was an all around even cut. And I only used one product, which was some sporting waves. And I didn't have any, like, you know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, did you even have waves though?
But it started when I was probably going into middle school, where I was like, okay, the low cut is not for me anymore. I'm going to graduate and go into the wave look.
Okay.
But
were you actually training your hair? Because there's different levels to having hair.
Levels
even something simple as braids is like getting them done, putting your do-rag on, actually properly maintaining whichever style you have. So like even with waves, you have to train the waves. You have to actually put the work in.
Bruh, tell me about it. I thought like just brushing my hair, I would automatically, get waves, which I did, I have it, but like you said, it's levels to the shit, you know what I'm saying? So in the South, and maybe everywhere in America, it's a competition when it comes to waves.
That's a fact.
It depends on the product. You gotta have the right do-rag. You gotta have the right, like everything is.
And everyone's hair texture requires a different set of maintenance or upkeep. So it's really like, it's similar to a facial regimen.
Right.
Like everything doesn't work the same for everyone. So you kind of got to go through that trial and error period to figure out what works for you.
So I recently heard that you just visited Africa pretty recently, right?
Yeah.
How was your experience with that?
It was cool. So most recently I actually went to shoot a Netflix movie and then I had to speak on a few panels.
Congratulations.
Well,
that's really big.
Nah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. But overall, my journey to Africa really started after doing my I believe it's called 23andMe or like one of those ancestry
Oh, you did
situations.
it? Okay, cool.
So I did one of those and it was right before my 30th birthday and I was like, oh wow, I'm actually Nigerian. So then of course I started having conversations with my mom and different people and I'm like, yo, why you didn't mention this? Well, I knew this much, but I didn't think it was none of your bit. You know, just, you hear different stories and stuff, right? So I'm like, well now I'm curious. So my 30th birthday, I actually went to Nigeria for the first time and went by myself just to go garnish.
Oh wait, you went by yourself?
Yeah.
That's really dope. That's really big. Okay.
It was everything. I went and was embraced with so much love. Now, this was the actual first time that I did the gems in my hair because I spoke to my stylist and I was telling her I'm about to go to the motherland. So I want to feel royal. Like I want to, so she actually did a crown. So I had a crown and I went to Africa and literally was treated like I was the Prince of Zamunda. That's how it felt for me.
Oh, shit.
Because it felt so right.
Yeah.
And then I started noticing, looking all around, how normal the intricacies of like one's hair is out there because it's all talent. You know what I mean? But it's so normal out there. Like here, you know, we gotta spend $500, $700. Over there, your little sister's doing it. Your mom's doing it. It's just a part of Thursday night. You know what I mean? Then you gotta think about the people who are dealing with not even having lights. But you still, it's a lot. Don't get me started.
So like you're saying like over there, like hair, they treat hair like it is, like how would you describe that?
Well, personally, it appeared as if it's just a part of the culture. Like think about breathing. You don't actually think about breathing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those situations. It's what we have to do. A lot of people here complain about the lack thereof because we're so used to having so many different resources to maintain. But over there, you simply can only use what you have access to.
So would you say that makes it a more creative experience?
It's more creative because the hair journey, one thing I learned in Africa, a lot of the journey started from trying to replicate shapes. So I went to a museum actually while I was in Cape Town. So this is like visit 3. So I've been 7 times in the past 2.5 years. And visit 3, I went to Cape Town and there's an artist, her name is Uzizifo Poson. And she had a show, it was a bunch of pictures, but then she also had these different, like, for example, vases and different things all around the museum. And on the pictures, you would see a model. It was a hair exhibit. So you would see a model who had the hairstyle that was currently in front of us. So it'll be like this oddly shaped vase or something you would see around the home.
Yeah.
So when you think about the inspiration, it came from reality. It's our reality. So you have to think about the skills that it takes to go into creating a sculpture, for example, but then now take the little girl who is just watching, for example, her father create this sculpture, and then she looks at her sister and says, I can make that. And her sister may say, what? Well, whatever, you got 2 hours till I gotta go start prepping dinner. So now she's on this time crunch, and next thing you know, she has the vase on her head, and now it goes around the town, and then she gets known as this creative. And that's how, for example, someone will put these hours into obtaining a college degree. So like my stylist, she used to build things with hair. It started with like looking at a picnic table, for example, and she would then say, okay, that's just a simple pattern. Or if you think about a fence, how a fence is actually made, that's the basket weave. So when you think about someone utilizing their resources for simply what's in front of them, I've been looking at this shape on this table and just thinking about, damn, that's 2 barrels if we really just tied it around, and that's essentially what we've been doing.
So it's storytelling.
Yes.
It's storytelling.
Yes.
Like that's like
Yes.
visually, like
Yes.
you look at the hair
Yes.
and there is a storyline behind it.
Yes, that's a perfect example.
That's amazing.
Whenever we do these styles, there is a story to be told. So like it is dope to get the cliche, oh, that's nice, thank you. But I love people who are able to tell me about what I have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a rare case because most people don't take the time. It's simply, here, yeah, I want to get these knotless braids and thank you. Yeah, you jump right on your phone. Most people are running away from history. So going back home, or more so to Africa, I was able to obtain that and really develop a new sense of appreciation for what's growing out of my hair. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people take it for granted.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had no idea, you know, but like art really knows no bounds. And like you said, like, is it life imitates art? Is it art that imitates life? And I think two things can be true at the same time.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but that's amazing. I love to see just the innovation of hair because it's so versatile. Like,
Man.
Specifically black hair.
Yeah, it's really wild what we can do as a people, and we don't simply get credit for. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things, I'm not even gonna per se use the word invented because we weren't even trying to invent it. It's just how our minds advance.
It's innovation.
Yes, innovation, right. Yeah. So a lot of the things we may have and very well have done first, but you know, things get warped and grabbed and pushed into other societies, and then it becomes their norm because once time passes, it's like a game of telephone. You know what I mean? You no longer care about where it started. I'm just trying to get my piece. You know what I mean? So going back to me is so essential, and I think something that a lot of people need to dive into because it's so many holes that are going unfilled. You know what I'm saying? So
Al-Teron, let's go back in time.
Okay.
So let's talk about the first time you really had a relationship with your hair growing in your childhood.
Okay, so as I said, like my hair has become a voice for me. Yeah. So as a child, my hair was also a form of expression because I was shorter than most. So I naturally didn't feel I was seen. So my hair was something that became a speaking point. I've had mohawks. I've had Gumby flat tops. I've had braids, box braids. The only thing I was not able to get, which I yearned to have as a child, was locks.
Really?
My mom actually played into societal norms where she was trying to protect me from those viewing me a certain way. So she just never allowed locks. So I had the box braids hanging and things of that nature. But as a child, to answer the question directly, I'd probably say 10. I'd probably say around 10. Before then, I cared about waves. My dad's a barber. So I would always get a haircut every week. He would drive me. He would wake me up, first of all. He would wake me up 4:30 in the morning, and that was our personal time.
4:30 in the morning?
4:30 in the morning.
Oh, God.
I would go to the barbershop with him, and it would just be us. So it used to feel exclusive. This is when we used to sing. This was our bonding moment, and I used to really cherish it because, I don't know, I never really got to talk to him. But hair was something he cared about. He's setting everybody up in the neighborhood. And when you think about it, a haircut or getting your hair done is simply confidence. A barber, a stylist is selling confidence. When you think about how you feel after you get your updo or you get your fresh lineup, it's a reset. So I would go down there, but then now it's my dad, you know what I mean? So he's pouring into me. That was our time to get that one-on-one. And then I noticed how much he cared, so it made me care. So it kind of trickled down, you know, the generation. And then I just started wanting to step outside of the box and just, you know, be artistic. Like I said, I've experienced, or more so experimented with various looks. And I just noticed what it did to people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Amazing. That's amazing. I would say for me, I honestly didn't have, I feel like I'm a late bloomer when it comes to establishing a relationship with my hair.
Wait, because you just got into the game?
Yeah, I literally just got into the game. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like I
crazy.
went from, so in the South, growing up, and this was what was fed to me, it was like short hair or like having a low cut was more masculine.
Yeah. And
having longer hair was more feminine. So
Facts.
Growing up, my parents, I really didn't get a chance to like rock cornrows or grow my hair. So my parents pretty much kept my hair very low. I feel like a part of it was for like cost. It was more cost efficient because like obviously like you can kind of go 3 weeks with having like a low cut. And you don't have to go to
you
the
might just go
barbershop.
back, get a line up.
Yeah. But then this also was at a time where like cuts
A
weren't
cut
that.
was 15 or
It was like $15.
yeah, 20, I believe, for like a full all around.
Exactly. So, but it was also, I feel like they were trying to also keep me on the straight and narrow as far as my masculinity.
Okay.
Because I felt like they felt like longer hair, was more for women.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have association with my hair until I was maybe 14.
Okay.
And then that's when I started to kind of experiment. But I was still in the boxes though. Like my dad is from New York, so I grew up watching Spike Lee and hearing Slick Rick. So I was very inspired by, the high tops.
Okay.
So that's when I started to kind of like experiment and go with the high top route. And I actually had a high top that was like probably like 8 inches off my head.
For real?
Yeah. It was an era. And then I also remember I would go to like Party City and they had like the spray that you can like spray and dye your hair. I could never dye my hair.
So you play?
Yeah, that's what I got to kind of like
dabble.
have some sort of self-expression.
Facts.
And that's kind of when I grew into like learning about my hair and actually loving my hair at the same time.
Okay, so it's funny. You just mentioned the high top.
Yeah.
I know for me, that was the Kid and Play era.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my best friends, he had a flat top. I had one. And it was just cool because you think about it. They say there's nothing new under the sun. So all we're doing is just like clothes being reverted back to this time that was popping back in the 80s. Yeah. So I used to try to do things that were once done and cool, and I would remake it cool. So like the flat top, the mohawk even gave me, there's variations of a mohawk.
It is.
So they have like the fin hawk, then they have, I don't know
it's like
if there's a name, but
it's like a fade hawk.
Yeah, fade hawk, it's fro hawk, it's so many different levels, but to me it was always just simply not wanting to be duplicated. So it's like when I do these styles now, I could go into an NFL arena and every seat can be packed. No one will look like me. I will walk around any section and naturally be in a world of my own. So that itself tells you how powerful the crown can be. You know what I'm saying? So I utilize that to my advantage all the time. But it to me electrifies something inside of me, but differently with each style though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because certain styles is like, oh yeah, I seen one of them before. But you still know your shit's hot. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, yeah, I see what you did. That's what's up. But then you got some people, okay, god damn. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
a conversation starter.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like when you see my hair, you see me.
Come on now.
And look, I'm fly. So you gonna wanna know, you're gonna like, okay, like, and also like asking like who cut your hair too.
Facts.
Like that's the thing. So like I love just to have in my hair, be a self-expression of who I am and where I am at that moment. I went through different eras with my hair. Mm-hmm. So I started off with obviously the low cuts, and then I kind of went to the high top fade. And then when I went to the military, that's when I found out that obviously I don't have as much roam as I once did. So I kind of had to like scale it back, and go that route, because there are obviously regulations and rules in place that you cannot exceed certain lengths. You can't exceed, even with color. You can't even experiment with that either.
But think about that, like, cause you just said something. You said somebody might ask you who did your cut. In my world, it sends me so much joy internally when a black man comes up to me and says, "Yo, who did your hair?" Because we live in such a society where, for one, first of all, men, regardless of age, race, naturally haven't nor will they ever develop the necessary tools to effectively communicate.
Right.
Because we're taught to be internal. So someone might think my hair is nice, and a typical person in my demographic that also has locks will admire. They may go talk to their stylist, and it may be some inspiration, but it always brings me joy when someone comes and asks me, because it means so much because of how difficult it is internally usually. It's not to me. If I like something, I'm like, bro, that shit hard, bro. Where you go for that? You know what I mean? Like that. Like who did that? Just because I want to know, and if something out there is better than I've seen, I naturally want to be a part of it.
I just want to stop you right there, because you're so right. Because there are a few compliments that are passable.
Yeah.
When it comes to black men.
Yeah.
Like black men won't compliment on you on your skin.
No, period.
They won't compliment on
They'll
your
be like,
teeth.
oh yeah, he cool. Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
he
saying?
cool.
They barely will compliment you on your outfit.
Yeah.
But hair though, like that is one of the main compliments that a black man will pass on.
Yeah.
As saying like, oh man, like damn.
Yo, that shit hard. And depending on how you rock, will be the actual compliment you get. Because if you're ultimately alpha, you be like, yo, that shit hard, yo. Yeah, yo, I fuck with that.
Right, and but it's still like, yeah.
Okay, bet, thank you. And then you got somebody like, yo, that's cute. Or and it's like, okay, bet. It all gets the same, thank you.
Man.
You know what I mean? But it's dope to me when you're able to express yourself. And to me, that's what I try to exude in terms of approachable energy. I do this because I'm trying to inspire. I don't care who says something to me because it isn't for me. I'm doing this for the masses. The little boy who wants to express himself, but society says shut up. That's what I'm doing it for because I used to be him. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have the voice that I have now. You know what I mean? And I think about the ounce of influence I had as a child. It didn't exist. You know what I mean? I didn't know about Africa. I didn't know about history of a lot of things that I did learn simply from visiting once. You find out there's so much knowledge and information and resources out there, but based on how society raised me, they were resourceless. You know what I mean? Us as a people were robbed, stripped, don't have much, but that's not the case. They're still very much thriving out there. They don't have the same level of technology and resources to certain degrees, but I mean, they rich spiritually because that's where it originated. You know what I mean? So as often as I can, I try to go back home.
So I just want to take a moment and just talk about the experience of trusting someone with your hair, you know, because your hair is wealth, is prize, everything we kind of discussed earlier. So I just want to know, like, where do you stand and what's your experience with building trust and maintaining it?
For one, that's a very packed question because that's something you don't just take lightly. Like, whereas a barber, you could potentially, if you're on a roll, you'll just go to whoever, as long as you look at their resume, okay, you can cut. Me with my hair, people don't even know, I actually fly to Florida every time I get my hair done now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So every time I switch, I put a flight on it because it means that much to me. I won't allow anyone to just get into my scalp. It's a transfer of energy. You know what I mean? So I have to actually vet you in order to even give you and grant you permission. And once I grant you permission, then naturally and subconsciously, I will grant permission to your team. So my stylist, Angelise, she has a full team. So there'll be different people that may wash me or someone may take a style down because she has to handle so many things. She's a serial entrepreneur, does a bunch of things, but one of the things she does the best is utilize her hands, but it's only but so much you can do. So she now has retired and has a handful of clients, and I met her the day before she retired. So it was just God, you know what I mean? So I actually was, and it was very difficult to leave my previous stylist because people don't know when it comes to the hair game, your stylist essentially is a spouse. Yeah. Like you're married. Like there is no, you busy.
No,
I need
word
my
is
hair.
bond.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, regardless of what you got going on in life, you are pissed off if your barber can't get you in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just non-negotiable. We figure out how we make this work. That's why I say in a sense you married. But when I think about the process that I put someone through to even garnish trust in a chair, because ultimately you're vulnerable. Like you're at your weakest point. I'm now pillow talking. That's why I say it's like a marriage, because essentially you're a therapist. You're not only giving me inspiration internally that I'm able to transfer into, I guess you could say motivation to live, but you also help talk me off the ledge, because now I'm sitting, I'm getting my scalp massaged. I'm literally getting treated, so I feel safe. You know what I mean? Like when I'm in a chair as a black man, it's one of the biggest times, or one of the most times I feel safe. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, it's about grooming. It's about conditioning my mind, body, and soul. You know what I mean? At least that's what I'm looking for in a stylist. Now, some people, it's simply transactional. You literally pull up, you give them $1, they do what you need. But for me, I'm looking for energy being transferred as well. So because again, you're I wouldn't even say taking from me, but you're supposed to be adding into You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean that I was looking for someone to be able to talk to, but I wanted to be able to trust you. You know what I mean? That's naturally what I was looking for, and it's pretty big. And you feel bad if you can't get. I wouldn't even say you feel bad. Scratch that. It's not happening if you don't feel what you need. At least for me, because my crown is very precious to me. You know what I mean? So I can't just allow anyone to adjust the position. You know what I mean? I have to be able to trust your judgment, because low key, I can't see it when I move around. I have to trust that you did what I asked, or we're on the same page. And now I exude with the understanding that we're on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that.
Okay, so Jalen, I know you did say you just kind of got over to this side when it comes to the natural hair, and you doing your thing. It looks good too, bro.
I appreciate it.
But I'm actually curious to know what the process is like for you on today, but then also what you've been through, because it's different. I know for me in the beginning, they call it the ugly stage. Like, you know what I mean? So the maintenance process is just different, but then once you get into it, it has beauty in its own way.
No, exactly.
What I mean? So what was that for you? Like, how did you know what I mean?
I will say I am extremely blessed. So I have 2 sisters.
Okay.
And they were my first introduction to, training natural hair. And I would steal and use their products when I would go home and visit. So they were pretty much, my help and pretty much my safe haven while I was, in transition to getting to this side. But like, I would say that like I turned my wash days, my hair days into a ritual. You know what I'm saying? I would say like doing my hair is one of the first acts of self-care for me. I would really go into depth about like the products that I would use. I would go to YouTube, I would go to TikTok just to find out what is trending and what is what I should be using as a Black man, doing my own hair. I haven't found a stylist out here. My stylist is YouTube. My stylist is TikTok. So it's just fun to kind of like experiment and find new ways to, do my hair and also to perfect it. I feel like hair is a trial and error type of thing.
Very much so.
So you got to put the work in. And then as you continue to do it, it's a muscle. You get to work out.
You train it.
You're training your curls. You're training, the products that you're using just so they go in. It's a cohesive project at the end of the day.
Are you actually garnishing data when it comes to selecting a product, and you're like, okay, this made my curls really springy, or I'm not sure which words they use. But I'm not.
Got a little bounce to it.
Got a little bounce to it. So it's like, okay. So do you actually go through vetting products? Like, what are you looking for when it comes to that? And even a stylist, what are you looking for? Because I'm not sure if you actually get styles. What would you say that process is even like?
Yeah, bro, it's a vetting process. It's like, I feel like it is a word of mouth thing first. Like you ask your people, like who's doing your hair? Like, where should I go? And because I just moved here.
Okay,
I just moved here. Yeah, I just moved here. I've been out here for 6 or 7 months. So I try to go through my community first.
Okay.
And figure out who they're using, what products they're using. And so I can incorporate it, because like that is the vetting process. Like I trust my people, those closest around me.
No, that's so it's community.
Yeah, it's community.
You know what I mean?
What I'm saying? Just like anything else, like with restaurants, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I treat it the same way. Like, okay, like what are you using? Because obviously I trust you. You look at people's hair, it's working. So I want the same thing for me.
So I resonate with that, but then also I simply have to say social media did it for me. That's actually how I found my stylist. I prayed to God because I was ready to be done with my current stylist because of the current situation. And I would naturally just deal with stuff because she did things that I've never seen with my own eye. So I never thought it was possible to find an alternative. So I literally went on YouTube and I was looking for what at the time was exclusive, but what now is basic, and that's a basket weave. So I literally went on Instagram, actually, searched basket weave. I saw a blue one. So then I'm like, oh, wow, the color, like the pattern inside of that, you don't really see on locks. So I was like, that's dope. So then I went through, and next you know, I'm like, oh, wow, she's crazy. I'm like, wow. I'm like, oh, damn. So next you know, I ended up DMing her. called her the next day. She makes me jump on a Zoom call 5 a.m. our time because she had a call for her models that she was moving forward after her retirement.
Oh, word.
So I'm on that call, spoke to her. Next thing you know, 2 days later, I fly out, get my hair done. I had an engagement. It was full carpet ran out, but this is just how they get down. This is the treatment. So I went from guerrilla style to professionalism. So that's something else because normally it don't matter to us. We're just gonna get it done. I don't care if we got a sink, I'll go in the kitchen sink, wash my hair as long as I leave like this, it's good. But all of that means something towards the experience. And I realize now I deserve high quality. I deserve professionalism. And that's what I get now. And
listen, man, we work hard.
easy.
We work hard.
Yeah.
And one thing that I don't want to have to worry about is my experience with my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm paying you for a service,
come on now.
I want the best.
Come on now.
Because I feel like I deserve the best.
Hey, listen.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't care what the price is because I understand value.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be ripped off, but I'm not one that's trying to cut corners because in my world, we're doing things that the typical person hasn't even seen. It causes hysteria. So it's like, that shit's just simply gonna cost. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's go ahead and handle that.
I mean, it's gonna cost. You know, back in the day, cuts was $15.
Come on now, you can trade, barter.
I miss some times, low-key.
Even a lineup. Like I don't even have a low cut, but my haircut is still $50.
But it's an appointment. It's an appointment.
Yeah, that's true.
Because back in the day, there was no such thing as
you just pull up.
You pull up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you was lucky if you got out of there within the hour, but also like you could be on a Saturday morning, you could be there all damn day. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So it's like, it's a give and take. But I do appreciate that we now have this like intimacy with our barbers, with our beauticians, and it's kind of a one-on-one experience. And it allows you to open up. And it's also your first, and for me at least, it was my first experience when it came with therapy should feel like. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was the one-on-one time that I feel like I needed as a Black man to express where I'm coming from and also feel no judgment when it comes to, expressing myself.
I didn't even think to mention it earlier, but me and my mom, we moved down south, down to North Carolina to start high school. She split my dad type shit. And next thing you know, my barber actually became a positive influence for me because he saw that I valued the things he said. So my mom actually peeped this and backdoored me as a little boy and would talk to him and tell him the reality of what was going on. And he became the male influence for me. Like, doing check-ins and like literally checking on my spirit. That was the first time I actually had my spirit checked. And that's something that I always do whenever I speak to someone. Hey, what's going on, man? How's your spirit doing? How you feel? You know what I mean? Like what's going on? Is there something you may want to talk about? I realized that because all they naturally have to do is listen. Like, because the client, if you listen to the client, they're gonna tell you what they're willing to tell you. Don't get me wrong, certain questions will pull certain things out if they're willing, but in all actuality, like we said, the therapist, they naturally no, and then this mother gonna have the nerve to tell me, my bad. So then they have the nerve to tell me, woo, you understand what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, they said that?
Damn,
hey, but now look, hey, fuck her, man. Now look at you.
They give some of the best advice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's one of those situations where a lot of people don't know how valuable a stylist, a barber actually is to personal development. Right. Because it's someone you see so often. Exactly. You know what I mean? You gotta think about it. Like that's an extension to your family to some degree, or at least it can be. It's up to you how you view it, because some people it's simply transactional. Give you money, thank you, next week. You know
and it builds trust. At the end of the day, it builds trust. And also loyalty. Like I had the same barber, I think, my entire childhood.
Word.
Yeah. It was some things that happened, but like overall, I had the same barber for like my entire childhood. So it's like I don't feel the inclination to cheat on my barber.
Yeah, you can't. That's funny you said that. Yeah. Your stylist or your barber, for the most part, unless something drastic happens, death in the family, they had to move, you had to move, doesn't change.
It's like a relation. It's like it's a marriage.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Something
cheat.
drastic honestly has to happen for you to honestly leave.
And again, if there's a style you may want that your natural stylist can't do, then there's a special exception.
It's a loophole.
I'm gonna go, you know what I mean?
That's a loophole. Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, it's like if you learn how to do it, then I'm gonna naturally bring the money to you.
So I recently started, obviously I had shorter hair, so I would do finger coils. I feel like that was easy. Okay, I had that shit damn.
It was easy to do?
Easy for me to do, yeah.
Okay.
For me, it came like second nature. I was like, okay, like I'm in the mirror, I'm figuring out my curl pattern. I'm just using my finger as a guide, right?
Okay.
And for the last 3 months, you know what I'm saying, it was fairly easy. But the thing about it is, your hair grows. And it's like, okay, what you gonna do now because it's getting too long, you know what I'm saying? So I would try to figure out, go to YouTube, go to TikTok and figure out, okay, I need new styles because I feel like I'm not doing it properly anymore. So I discovered two-strand twists.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, this seems fairly easy. It's just like taking 2 strands of hair and turning it. It's a process, and you need equipment. I didn't know you needed equipment. You need a 3-way mirror. You need product. You need edge control. You need all these different products that I did not have on hand.
Yeah.
But I was like halfway in there. I was like, I can't give up now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I would continue to try and figure it out, and I looked crazy. I look crazy. And like we said before, like when you see my hair, you see me. So obviously when you see my hair and it's looking crazy, I'm looking crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it was just an experience, and I understand, like, specifically I grew up around Black women. And, you know, some Black women aren't as, you know, they don't feel as secure within themselves with their hair because they feel like they don't know how to do it. And it's knowledge, and it just takes, you know, someone to teach you and tell you. And sometimes we just don't have accessibility to certain products, to certain information. So you kind of have to learn as you go. And I love that you went to Africa to see like the root of it all. And it's a process.
You know, it's funny because I didn't go to Africa to find that. I went in search of whatever I was supposed to find. And while I was walking, someone literally admired my hair and told me about this museum that was right down the street. I was actually going to another museum that was in the opposite direction, like say there's a fork in the road. So now I'm told to go to the left side, and once I got over there, I gathered so much information towards the floodgates of the history, and I'm like, wow. And they thought that I was just supposed to be there because of how I looked already in the moment.
So it found you.
It found me.
Amen.
So again, that's just God, you know, I believe that we go through what we go through to become exactly what we're supposed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God makes no mistakes, and we're always supposed to be where we are. So that's just a prime example, because how did I end up in that gallery? I still ask myself.
That's amazing.
But your experience really says a lot, because a lot of people give up. When you think about it, I think a big factor is time and patience when it comes to a lot of the things that you'll see on YouTube that someone simply just set a camera up and did. Mind you, visually it looks so easy to them because they put those hours in of failing. You know what I mean? Now it's time to reveal, and it's like, oh damn, why when I did it, it ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't giving.
Yeah, for example, like I was in high school and I had my high top, right? And this was at a time I wanted to be as high as possible. So I went to the great measure to use a hot comb.
Oh, hell no. So Jay, let's get into the politics when it comes to the hair. You mentioned you were in the Air Force.
Yep.
How was that experience? Like, how do they feel about hair?
Man, so even like the first day of getting to basic training, which is boot camp, you have to go through a process of even like they'll shave everyone's head. Like it's like a line, assembly line. And it's not like you get in the fade and you get in the lineup or
no, ice dome.
Like literally what you see in like Major Pain. It's like literally you're like shave, next. And like, I will say like, I felt like a part of me was stripped, you know what I'm saying? Cause like at that age, I was getting more and more in tune with my hair. You know, I'm learning, I had the hot top fade, you know.
Even your personal identity.
Right,
you
learning about curl patterns and textures
yeah.
and stuff like that, using different products. So I was getting more and more in tune with my hair. So I did feel like a part of me was stripped. And even while I was in, like having hair or having styles is frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? You see the most successful Black men in the military, most likely they either have a bald head or they have a very low cut. So you don't have much room to express yourself through hair. And I will say I did struggle a little bit with that because I tried to try different styles or even dyeing my hair. You know, like that was my first experience of dyeing it different colors.
While you were in the military?
Yeah, while I was in.
Oh, so they allow that?
Yeah. So like recently they passed, you know, regulation where like Black women could have locks in the military. And then also you could like, both men and women could dye their hair natural colors. And
so like, could you go tan?
if it's a natural color, you can fight for it. So there were black people in the military, myself included, you know, I dyed my hair blonde. Because I was like, oh wow, natural colors.
It's a form of expression.
It's a form of expression.
It's something different.
But I will say, like, even though we could do it, that doesn't mean that it was, you know, well tolerated.
Okay.
You know, so you still have, you know, higher, you know, people who are superior on the chain, looking down upon, you know, the new creativity and the new inclusion of what the military was kind of turning into.
Would you say that was a form of discrimination, or at least what you felt?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, I will say that it was, I felt discriminated against. And you feel like you really don't have much room to fight it. You don't really have much leg room because obviously those are your superiors, and there is a chain of command. And
you chose to live inside of that world. So it's funny. It's funny you say you felt that, because I've actually felt that as well. And
really,
this is a big part of, or more so, that's a big part of why I do what I do, because I'm trying to break societal norms for the way that people view those who look like me.
Yeah.
So for example, I'm praised. I get a lot of kudos when I look this way, but there's no different than me and the guy walking down the street who also has long locks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you see me in this manner, you now approach me. You now respect me. You assume that I'm safe. I could be in a car with my hair straight down, or more so walking by, someone else is in the car. Mm-hmm. And when I have my hair straight down, I naturally feel like there's a target on my back as criminal. That's just naturally how I feel in certain environments. But I know if I were to enter those same environments looking like this, oh, wow, but you're the same that would turn your nose against me if you didn't see all of this bling.
Right.
But I'm still the same black man that has a heart, has a soul, has a family that loves me, has a family that I love, and I have principles and goals that I want to accomplish. And naturally, you don't see that based on the picture society paints.
Right.
So that is something that I've experienced as well.
So do you feel like hair is currency? Because it sounds like, you know, the way you wear your hair, you go into an event, you get treated differently. So it seems like it is a form of currency.
Yeah, so it is a form of currency, but because yes, it is a form of currency, but because I move with intention, I'm now shifting the perspectives of those around me. Because granted, I could utilize the influence for bad and just manipulate and utilize people for the way that I want to shift them. Yes. But in all actuality, I take the opportunity of garnishing their attention, and then I shift it in a way that would be impactful and add value to whatever space I'm in.
Yeah, you know I always say that, because it's like sometimes you see a hairstyle and some people are like, oh, that's ghetto, that's hood. Yeah. But a year later, it could be on the cover of Vogue. Oh, but now it's chic. Or now it's pristine. You know, so what is your experience like as far as like shifting that perspective or that narrative?
So I remember working as a server at a restaurant in the airport in Atlanta when I used to live there. And my boss, I never forget, it was one day, my hair was probably like right here. And I literally threw it all in a rubber band straight to the sky. So it was just literally just going straight up. Yeah. So to me, it was kind of cool because this is my first taste of an avant-garde style, something that warranted attention. I'm walking through the airport and so many people are looking at me. I'm like, mind you, there's literally 3 rubber bands on my hair. That's it. I get to the beginning meeting. My boss says, you know that has to come down, right? I'm like, why? What you mean? It's my hair. Like, what? Yeah. And I never forget, I took it down, and let's fast forward a year and a half. I think I booked my first TV show that people recognized me on at the time. And I ended up purposely going to that concourse so I could walk past. I was hoping my boss would be there, and he was, and actually had an avant-garde style. I was headed to an engagement. And he said, yeah, man, I heard you doing big things. I said, hey, Bill, I've always been doing big things. You were trying to stunt my growth, and I obviously had to leave in order to soar. But I really just wanted to come see you, man. I hope your spirit's doing well. You know what I mean? I walked off. You know,
and I bless you with love.
Yeah, God bless you. You know what I'm saying? So that was a nice return on investment, just in terms of believing in myself.
Exactly.
So okay. So Jalen, how does your hair make you feel now?
Bro, I feel limitless. I feel like I can do anything with my hair. I feel like I can go anywhere and feel pride within myself. And I feel like that is the highest form of self-love for me right now. It's just looking at myself in the mirror and knowing that I can do anything. I put my mind to. I look good. I you know what I'm saying? Like it's a form of just building my confidence and literally I had to build it from the ground up because I feel like I was stripped from it, when I was in the military. But now I feel like I'm in a place where I love myself and I love my hair. I love my texture. I just recently went to CurlyCon, which is a exhibit where you
CurlyCon?
Yeah, CurlyCon. It is a thing where everybody, like black women, black men, we all come together and it's a festival that we just discuss hair.
So everybody's just walking around with curls, or
with
like
curls,
just natural hair.
With natural hair, you know.
Okay.
What I'm saying? And you seeing cornrows, you seeing all different types of hair, So it's just a way for you to feel, and just feel family, feel connected. But as far as for me though, like I just feel like I'm in a place of love. And that started with my hair, I feel like it starts with my hair as far as with self-expression, and now I'm 28. And it's just all about love and self-care. So, what about you, man? Like, how do you feel about your hair? What does your hair mean to you right now?
For me, my hair is a resource to inspire those to come. Because like I mentioned earlier, as a child, I didn't have the inspiration that I seek to be.
Yeah.
You understand? I didn't have the visual representation of what stands or sits before you today.
Right.
So for me, it has become my biggest vessel to self-inspiring. Like when I look in the mirror, I feel so empowered. I feel so thankful to even be black. I've never felt more prideful since I've embarked on this journey of utilizing my hair as my crown and understanding. Once my perspective shifted, life shifted around me. And now I try to transition the energy that has been instilled into me into others. Because again, like I said, I just simply didn't have the representation.
What would you say to the next generation of black men coming in and like their experience on their hair? What would you say to even your younger self, about your hair in the journey?
I would honestly say trust your gut, because a lot of the hair journey boils down to internal spirit. Don't rush the process. Hair is something that lets you know that time has to pass. It literally gets better. It might take longer with time, but to the generation coming, I would say trust your own internal process. Whatever you desire can now be made reality. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like we can do anything in this world. And then also do some research.
Yeah.
Like literally do some homework on where we've come, because you'll also find some nuggets that are just laying underneath boulders and stones that haven't been turned. Yeah. And it could be you to bring it forth to this new generation.
Yeah, and I would keep it short and sweet. I was just like, of course, trust the process and just keep going. But if your hair is a sacrifice for you to get a job opportunity, or you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. And that's what I would tell my younger self. I would tell anyone, like your hair is gold and it is currency. And it is a form of self-expression. So however you feel about your hair, whatever you want to do to your hair, do it. And the opportunity, the place, the lover, the friends, it's gonna find you.
It's gonna find you.
It's gonna find you, period. Well, man, this was a pleasure talking to you about hair. I have never done this before. It was so cathartic and so also nostalgic. So I feel like it is needed. And I'm so glad that we got the experience to, even discuss, this topic. So I appreciate you for being here, my brother.
Man, I appreciate you for being here as well. And I'm actually thankful to have this conversation with you. Don't leave me hanging on camera. Now, I'm actually thankful to have this conversation with someone who actually has experience as well as information just from the research you've done from living. You understand? Like you're a black man. And I really think this is a conversation and topic that needs to be brought up more often in our society and our community. I mentioned it earlier, but most men haven't, nor will they ever develop the necessary tools to effectively communicate. And this is simply one of those topics that naturally don't get put on the table. Yeah. So thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
And I really enjoyed this.
Sure.
My hair is my vessel.
My hair regimen is an act of self-love.
I'm proud to be a black man.
When you see my hair, you see me.
Trust the process.
But like just
you gotta kind of earn that right to
you gotta earn, yeah, you gotta earn it.
You know,
they weren't trying to hear anything I was trying to say anyway. But like just hearing all the experiences, them talking about their wives and their girlfriends and who they talking to, and then also the movies that's out.
So if you think about it, that was T before T was a thing.
Before T was a thing.
Literally,